Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Not just today, but all year long for the way you guys cover our team. It's really appreciated. I'm going to start out by going through the players of the game. Something we love to do after a victory is give those people a lot of credit. Offensively, player of the game is Isaac Clarkowski, who I know many of you may not have known his name until he started that game on Saturday. Reasons before it are real. He is a walk-on true freshman from Green Bay, Wisconsin, who joined our team 3 days before camp. And we're sure glad he did. Because looking back, I've coached a while, and I've coached a long time more. And I don't know that I'll ever have a week where our offensive player of the game is also the scout team player of the week for defense. And that's simply because he took no reps with the ones or the twos until Friday afternoon. So a very unique story there. He's a guy that was an all-state wrestler, had Big Ten wrestling offers, but decided he wanted to come to Rice and major in mechanical engineering. He is taking 2 unbelievable classes right now at Rice. He's taking the Math 212 and physics in his first semester and making an A in both. And many of the geniuses we have walking around this campus can't do that without playing football. In fact, he's doing it and making it seem easy, I think is very impressive. Our defensive player of the game, I don't think is any surprise for anybody who watched the game. That's Trayshawn Chamberlain. Had a tackle for loss on the first series, picked off the first play of the second series on an incredible interception, and then ended the game on 4th down by making a great break on the ball and separating the receiver from said ball. So really proud of Trayshawn. And our special teams player of the game is the kicker version of Chris Barnes. We don't think he met his standard punting the football on Saturday, but certainly those kicks were outstanding. And both those field goals were the difference in the game, including the one on the offense's first drive, which is a career-long 48-yarder for Chris. Saturday's win was a really big deal for our team. It was just huge. And as we continue to build the culture around this program, it takes wins like we had on Saturday to continue to advance it, to continue to build the confidence in these coaches and in this program. So I'm really happy we were able to do that. We talked all week about starting fast. And as we always say, start fast, stay focused, and finish strong. And I thought for the most part we did that in all 3 phases. Didn't get the production we wanted out of the offense in the second half, but had a really good first half. So glad our defense kept playing. Glad that when we were in deep water, like we've been several times this year, somebody stepped up and shut the freaking door. And that was our defense. And that play we talked about with Trayshawn. And then the offense comes on the field and gets 2 critical first downs to end the game on the field, which is always the goal for a 4-minute offense. And it was an incredible play by our quarterback, Tom Stewart, to give Bradley Rosner a chance down the field. He had a one-on-one matchup. We know Roz is going to come down with that ball. We trust him. And then Deshaun Ellerby with the run to convert the next set of sticks and essentially end the game and allow us to get to what we call Buffalo George personnel and end the game in a victory formation by the quarterback taking a knee. Big things for our program. Big things for our program, to say the least. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Charlie Booker and how he played on Saturday. Once again, a guy that had no idea how big his role would be on Saturday, but as soon as Aston could not continue, Charlie stepped in there, and Charlie did what we know Charlie can do, and that's break tackles. That's run through and feed people his pads, and no matter how dirty the run was, he finished strong. And so really proud of him stepping in there on senior day and being able to do that. I thought our defense was simply amazing. I felt like we had a great week of prep. Thought we played really well on Saturday, but watching the tape to do what our defense was able to do and to really keep that offense and that quarterback in check, I thought was awesome. So really proud of those guys and ask them to just keep coming. But I, again, just couldn't be more proud of the way the defense is flying around and the takeaways we're getting. I think it really helps with everything we're trying to do as a team right now. And they're doing a great job keeping the sidelines juiced as well. I think you see a different juice on our sideline right now, understanding the passion that's required to play this game. I think our team exudes that. I think you see them loving this game, loving each other, and loving this team. And that's a lot of fun for me as their coach. Moving on to UTEP this week. This is a big game for our players and for our program. Make no mistake about that. We've worked extremely hard these last few weeks to win football games. And I've told them to remember how much work goes into winning a college football game. But this will be a big opportunity for us this Saturday. When you look at the film and read the stats on UTEP, you see a team that has dangerous tendencies, you know, and everything starts with Kai Loxley, the quarterback. You know, he is, if you will, the head of the snake this week. Everything goes through him. He had a great game throwing the ball last Saturday, and all year long when he runs the ball, he has been a problem for defenses. He's been a problem in terms of making efficient runs and keeping the sticks moving, and when he gets in space, he is finished against some really good defenses this year. So it's a great challenge for our defense to really corral him and box him in and get his butt on the ground. That's going to be a great challenge for us. But, you know, I look at Coach Dimwell and his staff, and I really think they're doing a good job. They're keeping those kids together. They're still playing hard, which again I've expressed to you guys how much big of a challenge I think that is in 2019. I think he's doing a great job. And we know exactly what it takes to rebuild a program back to the great place that program's been. We know how much work that takes. So I look out there and I see them doing a lot of similar things to what we tried to do in the middle of this season. And I know we're going to get their best on Saturday. It's going to be their senior day. It's going to be a big deal for them, playing in front of their home crowd right after Thanksgiving. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to traveling to El Paso, letting our seniors play one more game together with this team. And we want to send these seniors out the right way. These seniors, they know how important this game is to the future of our program. Everybody knows how big of a deal this game is to the future of our program. And I think it's going to be a hard-fought, physical football game, and I wouldn't want it any other way. With that, I'll open up for questions.
You talked about this win being a big deal for the future. What exactly would this win mean for you guys, and how would it impact your future?
Yeah, I mean, the last thing we looked at when we challenged them in the bye week to win the last three and to really get some momentum going, for the seniors to leave their mark, to end with a winning streak, something that hasn't happened here since 2014, to leave the place better than they found it for the seniors. For the people that are coming back, it sets the tone for the offseason. You know, it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a grind every day with Hans Straub. So why not go into it with a 3-game winning streak and all the optimism in the world for the 2020 season? You know, and not to look ahead at all. The reality is that anytime you win your last game, everything feels better. You have momentum in recruiting, and there's some great grad transfer targets we're after right now. Every little bit helps. And so that's what we can control. We can control going 1-0 this week by preparing like crazy.
And then what's your plan at quarterback this week? Is Tom going to start? Is Giovanni healthy?
Yeah, so good news from an injury standpoint. Everybody who played in the last game is still available for this one. Nobody has been ruled out, and Giovanni and Juma have not been ruled out either. So we could have both of them available as well. Tom Stewart will be the starting quarterback.
Coach, have you seen a swing in Tom's confidence? I mean, when he releases the ball, it's a different kind of release in the last game versus the first few games that you played.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a up and down year for Tom in terms of the standard that I think he wanted to play to. I think what he's done the last 2 weeks is more like what we expected out of him. And now there were times that you look back at the Texas game, you know, he was a wild horse rider a little bit. He looked like Brett Favre out there running around and making throws downfield. And then we had some games where he didn't throw it quite as well. But again, we go back to the film at Harper that we fell in love with him. And when he gave receivers a chance down the field, that's what we wanted to see, and I think that's exactly what we got in this last game. Do I think there's a confidence swing right now? Yeah, I think all of our confidence is in an upward trajectory. And the fact that we not only believe in ourselves maybe a little bit more, but believe in the people next to us, which is that trust is such a big deal in winning football games.
What are the chances that we see Isaac this weekend?
Isaac Klarkowski, right now he is still going with the ones. At the very least, he's going to be a backup in our program. He has earned our trust, and so I don't see any time where we ever say, like, we don't trust Isaac. And Glenn, I don't know if you heard me talk about it, but the news came at like 11:30 on Friday morning, and we may not have Shea Baker available. And it'd be a game time decision, and because of the injury to Brian Chafin, he couldn't snap, and so we were really low on options, and we got to a point where we all thought this is our best one because of how smart he is, how well he's done in the crossover work and those scrimmages in the bye week. And by the end of practice on Friday, I looked at Coach Mack and just said, I'll be able to sleep tonight. Like, I know he's going to do fine. And, you know, that's one of those unintended consequences. You know, we never intended for Juba to start against ODU, and then he has a great game, and the hope is eternal. And then just like that with Isaac, you know, we had no intention of him playing this season. We got backed against the wall, and he played great. And now forevermore, we'll have that knowledge that he can go into a conference game and have a winning performance. So at the very least, whether he's a starter or a true backup, it's real. He's somebody we're going to count on.
And I guess with that in mind, you still have the ability to redshirt him.
He will redshirt.
Yeah.
I mean, he hadn't played the game until he started.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, at center. I mean, are you kidding me? That was awesome. But yeah, so he'll redshirt. I do think that there's a real good chance he'll play some, if not start, against UTEP.
How does it feel to have a young man like that? It just, he's in your program, and then all of a sudden on game day, this guy comes through like you never thought he would be able to do.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to Coach Ashfield, Coach Sanders Davis, and the way that they've done a great job in that room, really making sure there's no child left behind, for lack of a better term. And as we go through camp and making sure everybody has the knowledge. And then Friday, we had great meetings with him. He goes out there on the field. And then we put him in the room with Brian Chafin, who has a lot of knowledge in our system. And I think Brian spent all Friday night quizzing him. And but again, this kid, he's a whole lot smarter than me, Nate. Like, you know, I like dealing with people that are a lot smarter than me. And gosh, he is.
Valedictorian of his class, you know, mechanical engineering major.
Mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kicking, gosh, I don't know, it's like calculus and quadratic equations or something, whatever Math 212 is. I mean, he's just killing it.
Getting your first 2 wins wasn't easy. First one, you had to go on the road and win a conference game. And then the second one, you felt like half the team fighting through the flu last week and some starters out. Still on the road, but more healthy. How valuable is those 2 experiences been for your team?
Yeah, and I think they're like everything. Like, gosh, you know, I think somebody said to me before this year, you win or you learn. And gosh, we've learned a lot this year. And thank God we're winning some now. But those lessons have been great. And I think we'll be able to carry with us how we prepared and how serious we took the road trip to Middle Tennessee. Will help us in this week. And if we really are kicking the funk, which we are in a much better place than we were last Tuesday, for sure. But again, I know we're not alone. You know, when you get to this time of year, I've read, like I said last week, that the Dallas Cowboys had 9 people, coaches and players down with the flu. And, you know, we're not going to be able to get away from all the sickness, but we are in a better place and trending the right way.
Let's talk about keeping guys from getting killed right now. They're feeling real good about themselves. 2 wins. Can you talk about that and how you manage that?
Yeah, I showed a slide. Well, number one, I told them early in the season that don't believe anything you hear outside these walls. Trust your coaches. And I said, it's the one time in your life I'm going to tell you not to listen to your parents because they don't know as much about football as these coaches. And right now I'm telling them the same thing. Don't you believe anything you read. We ain't that good, okay? We ain't gonna have no margin of error where we can just roll out the ball and win the football game. We're gonna have to play like our hair's on fire. We're gonna have to play Rice football. Those personnel grouping. Obviously Justin's doing a heck of a job with the Texans right now. I'll let him come dot it too. But yeah, we love George and we love what he is doing for us. And I think like we saw last year where George started the year and really through injuries and just his body wearing down had a sharp decline in his performance. And I don't think we're seeing that at all right now. If anything, I think we're seeing an incline as he's more and more comfortable in the system. Every week he's having a big hit, big play. Him, Trayshawn, Naeem, I mean, those safeties are playing really, really good football right now. And they're making every snap visible.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks again. Appreciate y'all.